bridge. Let's walk all around this one. Anyway, don't worry about that. It was built in 1836. I said 34, 36. General Burnside right here.
Well, you were sideburn.
Right, nice chop. It was built in 1836 at the cost of $3,200.
$3,200?
Yep. And it was made to be a primary crossing point south of Sharpsburg for local farmers. And it's called the Rohrbach Bridge because we're on the farm of Jacob Rohrbach, who's a local farmer. His house is just over this ridge. You go over the new Burnside Bridge Road behind us, and his house is just beyond there. Still there, private property, you can't go up there. I tried it. As daylight began to break through the morning fog on September 17, 1862, the Union 9th Corps, under the command of Ambrose Burnside, faced the daunting task of attacking Confederate infantry and artillery located on the far side of this lower bridge. After the battle, the bridge was actively used for traffic until 1966. In an effort to preserve the bridge, the bypass was built, as I told you, to take cars around the new bridge that we crossed over upstream. And you'll notice, well, you probably won't because I think they've got it fixed. There was some recent damage to the bridge where a chunk of the bridge on the side just turned loose and fell. They're actually going to move barriers good.
Oh, yay.
So they just
on the arches, sir, or
on the far, that last arch, on the side of it, a big chunk of it just turned loose one day and fell out. So they're actually they were doing a survey of it to figure out how they're going to preserve it. Now here on the southern end of the battlefield, there's an interesting command and control problem going on. You'll remember that I told you about General Burnside, that he commanded one wing of McClellan's army, composed of two corps, the 9th Corps and the 1st Corps. But as they approach Antietam, as they approach Sharpsburg, McClellan splits off Hooker's 1st Corps and takes it out from under Burnside's control. So this leaves Burnside as what? Well, he's still a wing commander supposedly, but he's only got one corps, so he's only got one subordinate unit under him. So it's kind of a difficult situation. On top of that, remember I told you what happened at Fox Gap? Who got killed up there? I think gambling.
Reno.
Exactly. General Reno got killed there, who's the 9th Corps commander. So General Cox, who is the Kanawha Division commander, remember I told you they were new, they came in from the west, but he's the senior guy. He takes command of the Corps. So when you get here, you got Cox as the Corps commander, and you got Burnside as a wing commander. But Burnside has nothing but 9th Corps to command. It's a very, very tricky situation. The difficulty of command and control was the fact that there was some ambiguity between Cox and McClellan. It created, I think it created, this is my opinion, almost a passive-aggressive tendency on the part of Burnside, who was clearly angry, as he writes in the post-war, at McClellan, who was his friend, remember, McClellan, for reducing his command. So Burnside's force now, with just the one corps, is composed of 4 divisions. He has 1,200 troops and about 50 pieces of artillery. So sometime between 9 and 10 o'clock on the morning of September 17th, as Burnside's 9th Corps is here looking over the bridge, McClellan sends orders to Burnside to attack the Confederates to his front and to take the bridge. However, it will take 3 attacks and a period of over 3 hours just to get across that bridge.
But wasn't Burnside unsuccessful in his first attack, right?
3 times. It takes him 3 times.
Okay.
So defending this bridge from the heights on the other side are only 450 soldiers from 3 small Georgia regiments, the 2nd, the 20th, and the 50th under the division of D.R. Jones. They are under the direct command of a political general from Georgia named Robert Toombs. At dawn on the morning of the battle, a much larger Confederate force had held these positions, but soon afterwards, Lee had to steal artillery and infantry from this end of the battlefield to reinforce his line in the north. And so there were no replacements available to General Toombs. He had these 3 small regiments to deal with. And he was left to make the best of the bad situation and be able to slow down Burnside's crossing of the Antietam. The Georgians positioned themselves, most of them were shooting long rifles, by the way, and they positioned themselves amongst an old quarry that was dug out on the far side of the bridge, used to actually build this bridge. The Confederate defenders were in an excellent position to protect themselves and defend the bridge, and they were able to pour fire very, very effectively down on the Union troops trying to cross the bridge.
So where did they end up crossing? Didn't they have to go further down?
I'm going to tell you all about that when we go around, I promise you.
So the
That's usually
Union,
my answer, right?
so the Union